So let me tell you this one, right? When I was in England, what play out when I was by the airport waiting to come back home, right? I meet this man, a nice fella, right? A man, right? I don't know what connections he had or whatever with certain people in America, whatever, right? But we meet in the English airport, right? And a nice person we sit down, we talk a little bit, laugh, joke, whatever. But he knows some stuff now, right? About the top level stuff and thing, right? And a man tell me, right, that I was chosen, right, to further the black race, right? To further the black race, meaning to alright, to have sex with somebody black, right? To produce a child, right? Because, right, the intention is to wipe out black people, right? Right. So they chose me, right, as somebody, right, at the top level, meaning chosen to further the black race. Now, I don't understand that, right? Because if you really want to further the black race, right, and they would choose a black person to have sex with a black person to further the black race, right? If you want to go down that road, then right? So I don't know if they want to make it look a certain way, right? They don't want to make it look, right? We made a white, right? Whites don't want to make it look that is a black agenda then. Meaning black, right? But a little brown black now, right? I don't know, right? I don't know. I just telling you what has happened, right? So the person told me that I was chosen, right, to help to further the black race, right? So, chosen by who is the question, right? And the question is why, right? Why would you choose me to further the black race where I have black people who could be multiplying with black people all the time? The only reason I would specifically be chosen to further the black race is if only looking to wipe out black people, right? It have no other reason. Because you wouldn't choose somebody I brown, right? You wouldn't just choose somebody as in God's chosen, right? You wouldn't choose somebody, right, at that level, right, to help to further the black race when it have so many black women in the world, right? So the only reason I could have seen that happening, that was when I was in England airport, this conversation take place, waiting to come back home, right? So the only reason I could see that happening, right, is if people, whites, right, trying to eliminate blacks, right? That is the only way that I see that happening. Because it had no reason why you would choose me. It had no reason why I would be chosen, right, by any council, any ethnicity, to further the black race, right, to further the black race, unless the agenda is to wipe out or genocide black people. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a secret now, right? That this person tell me, right? But this person apparently had connection to America, American government, whatever. I don't know, right? But anyhow, right? That is that, right? I was also before I come home, right? In the NASA well, not NASA, the English museum thing, right? And this fella, this white guy, right? He this was before, well, while I was there in London, right? And he was like where he asked me, right, to write down on a paper where I going to be within the next 6 months, right? Why you want to know that? Well, I home in Trinidad here, but why only wanted to know that? When I was back then, I tell him no, kind of stupid, right? Next thing somebody want to come send a bomb on the place, right? Listen, hear this, right? Is a no, right? But that was since 2023, right? So I could say no, I'm in Trinidad, I give a shit, right? But I'm in Trinidad. But why it is you wanted to know and how wanted me to write down on a paper where I gonna be in the next 6 months after I leave England, right? And at that same time, my energy coming to me telling me to travel to India or kind of thing, right? So I come back straight home, right? Me ain't going nowhere and me ain't going to let no energy come and tell me people, let's say go telling them that, go telling them that. How you just know it's God talking to you? That would just be my case. Hey, how you just know it's God talking to you? Right? How all you just know it's God talking to you and not the shaitan or the devil or something like that, right? Because when I was in England, right, I energy had coming to me, right, and I tell the male energy coming to me and tell me, like I hear the whisper in my ears, travel to India, right? Now that's also my voice, right? Now I could say, hey, that's my voice. I want to go to India, right? But it was a literal energy, and you know, it has be hearing a little voice in their head. Or little say like normal human beings, and I can say, hey, that little voice in their head, but it does really be your voice, right? Or it is be your thought, or you think it's be your thought. I'm talking about a literal, like overtaking energy, and you're hearing it loud, right? Travel to India, right? And it's a loud whisper, right? That is what I'm talking about, right? I'm not talking about a little thought in your head. Hey, I want to go to India. right? I'm not talking about that, right? So yeah, that is that, right? So that is that. Why would you choose me to further the black race, right? When it's a real black woman on the earth, right? And if only want to really further the black race, black people would be multiplying, right? Black people would be having sex, having children, right? Which they normally do, right? So I find it weird that somebody in England, right, would meet me and strike up a conversation and tell me, right, I was chosen to help to further the black race, right? And the only way I could see that logically happening is if the intention was to wipe out black people. And all of this thing tying into everything I've been discussing, because everything lead up to this point and lead up to that conversation too, right? Well, I mean, this is in hindsight because that happened since 23, right? We're in 26 now, right? But everything just started to make sense now, right? So yeah, so that's just that. Good.